Nancy Speck. I'm a professor and chair of cell and developmental biology at the University of Pennsylvania. I've been working on RUNX1 since 1990, so long time, very long time. And basically my whole career, scientific career, has been focused on RUNX1 and its partners, core binding factor beta. When we started, we had no idea that RUNX1 had anything to do with inherited blood disorder. That came, 9 years later, actually. We were interested in a virus that infects mice that causes a T-cell leukemia. Some protein in the mouse was working on the virus to drive this T-cell leukemia. And so we were very interested in figuring out what this protein was. And so we basically isolated, purified the protein, and we cloned the gene encoding the protein, and it was RUNX1. So how would I describe the work that we're doing now? I think I could divide it into two basic areas. First, back to the mouse. We know that mutations, germline mutations in RUNX1, mutations that you inherit, you have at the time of fertilization, that we know that predisposes patients to leukemia. Can we recapitulate that process in a mouse? We know that leukemia is caused by additional mutations in certain genes on top of the RUNX1 inherited mutation. So how is it that these additional mutations are changing the properties of a cell that already has an inherited RUNX1 mutation? It's more difficult in humans to test hypotheses. So, in a mouse, you can find, I think that this particular process is altered by these mutations. So I can actually make new mutations and test that hypothesis that this is actually, really important. There's another area of research in the lab, and that is we had discovered several years ago that there's something wrong with the innate immune system in mice that have mutations in RUNX1. And so we've teamed up with Paul Liu, who's running the national, the NIH longitudinal trial, to collect neutrophils from the peripheral blood of patients and to study their inflammatory properties. From a scientific point of view, we've progressed so much since the RRP has started funding science in this area. I mean, it's been amazing, the process. I think that in the beginning, we couldn't even really, as scientists, agree on the questions that we should be asking and, the best way to go about asking questions. And now, if you take a survey of the scientists and say, what do you think is going on? What's your hypothesis? Where do you think we should be focusing our efforts? We're getting much more of a consensus from people in the field about, where we should be going as a field. And that feels great if we're not, moving in 10 different directions, but we've all kind of, have some sort of agreement about what the basic problem is and how we need to try to solve it. People should donate to the RRP because they are by far the most impactful, effective organization working in this area and funding research in this area. There is just nothing like it, nothing like the RRP. Don't lose hope, because I think we will eventually get there. Keep up the good work and trust that in time, something good will happen.